it's Hannah here from the Personal Wellness Project. Welcome to episode 7. I hope you're doing magnificently well today. In the last episode, we spoke about those characteristics that make up a typically resilient individual, and importantly, what this looks like in practice as a way of thinking and as a set of behaviours. Hopefully, you've all had a go identifying a time where you have been resilient, why you're resilient at this time, and how it felt. Creating opportunities to reflect on times when we have been resilient allows us to grow, which we know is extremely important for our well-being. Considering how we've discussed resilience so far, today we're really going to focus on resilient behaviours. Specifically, we are going to explore the act of coping, which is an excellent way to demonstrate your resilience. So let's get started. Coping with the demands and the challenges that you personally experience on a daily basis is a fundamental part of being resilient. Coping is simply the efforts that we make to solve problems and deal with the demands that we face. Sometimes those efforts are subconscious, meaning that we do something without being aware that allows us to actually cope. For example, how you respond to some feedback on a college assignment, whether it's positive or negative, or how you might proactively address a personal difficulty that you face. In practice, coping might look like the following examples. Being kind and supportive to yourself, so saying things like, I can do this, I believe in myself, this assignment might challenge me, but I am capable. As a learner, listening to and taking on board feedback from tutors with the understanding that feedback helps us to improve and to grow as a person. Asking for help as and when you might need it. Engaging in relaxation strategies such as the mindful breath. Recognising your emotions in different situations, labelling and accepting them, and then managing them in a way that allows you to respond positively. Offloading to a trusted friend or family member about how you feel, about what is going on, and then identifying a positive way forward. We know that life can be difficult, and sometimes it can be really hard to maintain that balance of well-being. It fluctuates, which is normal, but the way that we cope in a resilient way is there to help us through those difficult times. In relation to this, as your task today, I want us to focus on the characteristic of optimism, which is about the confidence that you have in the success of something. This is a key characteristic of a resilient person and is related to coping in that those who are more optimistic more often can influence the way that they talk to themselves so that they focus on positive affirmations. And this is something I'd like you to start practicing right now. Self-talk. The way you talk to yourself matters. Our thoughts affect how we feel affects our behaviours, then our behaviour affects how we think. And the cycle continues. So first, think back to a time where you were particularly challenged. This could be when completing an assignment, preparing for an exam, or perhaps preparing for a job interview. Now, think back to the kinds of things that you were telling yourself when you felt challenged. Try and listen to that internal conversation that you have with yourself. Consider some of these questions. What were you thinking in these moments? What were you focusing on? What was the tone of your self-talk like? Was it positive, motivating, critical, or negative perhaps? How did you feel in these moments? How did you act in those moments as a result of what you were telling yourself? What were your behaviours like? Whenever you are presented with a challenging situation, I'd like you just to take note of the kinds of things that you tell yourself. Second, we know that it's difficult to say positive things to ourselves all the time. However, this is not a problem as long as we follow a negative thought with something that's more positive or proactive. Essentially, we need to counter the negative. For example, when receiving some difficult feedback, we might say to ourselves, I know I'm not good enough. But then we can counter it with, I can use the feedback to plan about how to get better. Another example might be that you say, I always get things wrong. But then let's finish that with, I'm being patient with myself while I learn something new, or I've achieved so much already. To counter negative self-talk, we need to be aware that we may say potentially negative things to ourselves in the heat of the moment, but be sure to finish on something positive, realistic, and accurate. Have a think about how you could use this coping strategy to help you when faced with potentially negative thoughts. If you're already aware of your self-talk, or this could be a brand new thing for you, then this is an excellent opportunity for you to write down some of the statements that you usually say and then put your positive add-on the end. You can sit and reflect on these thoughts or simply note them down on the notes section of your phone as and when those thoughts crop up throughout the day. Give this task a go and really reflect on the way that you talk to yourself. And remember, be kind to yourself. We'd love to hear your responses, so make sure you let us know in the comments how you get on. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date. That is the end of episode 7. I really hope that you've enjoyed today and have found it helpful to think about what coping is and how it links in with resilience. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to check out Instagram for more content. See you soon for the next episode.